Hello dear students, welcome to my channel Patel Science Academy, and this is lecture number 10 from the chapter Reproduction in Lower and Higher Animals. Dear students, this is the last lecture of this chapter, and in this lecture you are going to know about infertility, what is infertility and what is the rate in the human body in the different regions of the country for the infertility. So dear students, before we go in the detail of this topic, I would like to explain what is infertility. Infertility means the unprotected sex for 1 year for not having the pregnancy, and it includes the frequency as 1 out of 6 in the US, uh, as far as the different human couples is concerned. So responsibility rate, it includes 35% female infertility, 35% male infertility, 20% both male and female, and 10% are unknown for this infertility rate. So dear students, infertility means the unprotected sex for 1 year for not having pregnancy. Maternal age is responsible in the USA. It includes about 20 to 24 age, it is 41% responsible, while 25 to 29 age of mother is responsible for the 5.5%, while the age from the 30 to 34 is responsible for about 9.4%, and 35 to 39% of age is responsible for 19.7% for this infertility. So dear students, 85% treated successfully out of this um, figures, but the infertility is nothing but the unprotected sex for the 1 year for not pregnant. So this is about this short explanation of infertility. Now we'll see the detail of all these points. What can cause the infertility? It is unexplained about 18%. Now we'll see in the female body what is this infertility rate, and it includes the ovulation disorder, the tube or uterus blockage, the cervix problem, the endometriosis in the female, and some other reasons are also responsible for the infertility because it is caused by that all these points. In the male, sperm count and the defects and erectile or ejaculation deficiency includes all these things as a cause of the infertility. So dear students, in the female, ovulation disorder, tube uterus blockage, cervix, endometriosis, and some other reasons are responsible for the infertility. And in the male, sperm count and defects and erectile ejaculation and its deficiency is considered as a cause of this uh, infertility, in which out of which 18% is unexplained yet. So some more detail about the female infertility. It includes the ovulatory failures, the polycystic ovarian syndrome, that is high androgen and estrogen hormone level, and the resistant ovarian syndrome, and the gonadal dysgenesis. It is responsible for the female infertility. The impaired gamete or the zygote transfer, pelvic inflammatory diseases or endometriosis includes as a second number point in the female infertility. The implantation defect and progesterone hormones low level is again responsible for the female infertility. The spontaneous abortion, the chromosome abnormality is considered as a cause of the infertility in the female body. So ovarian tumor and polycystic ovary is responsible again for this infertility in the female reproductive system. So this is about this reasons of female infertility. Now some more detail regarding the male infertility we'll see. It includes the cryptorchidism and chromosomes disorder, gonadal dysgenesis, obstructions, gonadotropin deficiency. All these are results in the low sperm counts, sperms of the poor quality, which is responsible for the infertility in the male body, and it leads to the sterility in the male body, which is unable, which is not responsible for the production of the next generation by the fusion of the female gamete, that is egg. So unfertilized egg cannot be responsible for the formation of the next generation. Female infertility test, it includes for the ovulation the basal body temperature, ovulation kit, LH surge, and other hormone test, steroids. It includes as a test for the female infertility in the body for the process of ovulation. For the post-ovulatory blockage, it includes the laparoscopy, the fiber optic looks. The another test includes the salpingogram dye. One dye is used to uh, post-ovulatory blockage, to see the post-ovulatory blockage, the post-coital or the cervical mucus and the sperm antibodies, and endometrial biopsy is used as a post-ovulatory block diagnosis as a test. So dear students, about this, about the next slides, it includes the sperm good for 2 to 3 days, an egg for 2 days. It can be considered graphically in this diagram. Laparoscopy, as you know, this is one of the tests. In this test, what is done, the procedure of the laparoscopy, it includes the gas filled area. It is filled by this uh, injection, and it is inserted in this fallopian tube, and which is linked with this uterus, and likewise this laparoscopy is done. Can find adhesion structural abnormality. Dear students, the hysterosalpingogram is one of the method to know the blocked tubes, and it is likewise, you can see here, this is female reproductive system, and this one is uterus, and these are the tubes, the right side and left side tubes. So in this method includes the two. This method is known as the hysterosalpingogram, to know the blockage in the tubes of the female reproductive system. Thereafter, the male infertility test. What are the male infertility test? First, it includes the sperm count or the motility, to know the sperm number of the sperm and its motility. There are some tests about more than 20 million sperm per ml. It is checked by this. Check the motility and the morphology. More than 50% are motile and 30% structurally normal. If low, check LH, luteinizing hormone and androgen levels, and testicular biopsy is includes as a male test. Sperm counts can be done by this. You can see this sperm count by the process. Older and the low technique treatment, a drug treatment for the ovulation block, intrauterine insemination, tubal surgery, high-tech assisted reproduction technologies includes nowadays as IVF, in vitro fertilization, embryo transfer, GIFT, that stand for the gamete, intra-fallopian tube transfer, ZIFT, that is zygote intra-fallopian tube transfer, and the intracytoplasmic sperm injection, ICSI. is considered as a high-tech assisted reproductive technology nowadays, while the older technology includes the drug treatment for the ovulation blockage, the intrauterine insemination, and the tubal surgery. This is about these slides, and dear students, in the next slides we'll see about the detail of the IVF. So you can see here, this is the IVF result or production, the first test tube baby production. You can see here it is done by the IVF, and IVF is one of the most important process of nowadays. And in this diagram you can see the Lois Joy Brown. This girl, it was conceived when her father's sperm met her mother's oocyte in the laboratory dish. Here she stands among some younger test tube babies. So dear students, all these babies are the test tube babies, and you can see them. These babies are test tube babies produced by the IVF technique, in vitro fertilization technique. What is that technique? Now we'll see one by one in the next slides. So dear students, IVF technique as a assisted reproductive technology, it estimates 1 per 100 birth now around 40,000 per year, and cost between $7,000 to $15,000 per attempt. And now we'll see the IVF, in vitro fertilization. The full form of the IVF is in vitro fertilization. Before we go in the depth of this IVF, I would like to explain you about the in vitro. Dear students, there are some processes that takes place naturally and that takes place artificially. If some process is taking place in the body naturally, it is called in vivo. So in vivo means the process that is taking place in the natural condition in the body, it is called in vivo condition. And if fertilization is taking place in the body, in the female body naturally, so that fertilization, because it is taking place naturally in the body of the female, so it is called in vivo fertilization, to which we generally call fertilization. But what is this in vitro fertilization? So it is exactly opposite to this in vivo, because in vivo means natural fertilization that takes place in the natural body condition, and in vivo fertilization means the artificial body condition, so in which the process of fertilization does not takes place inside the body of the mother, because it is a technique and it takes place outside the body in the laboratory, in the dish or in the test tube. So because it is not taking place naturally, that condition is called in vitro, means artificial condition. So fertilization taking place in the laboratory, it is called in vitro fertilization. So in this lecture I'll explain you about the in vitro fertilization, how this in vitro fertilization takes place. We'll see in an artificial condition in the laboratory. The basic steps in the IVF, in vitro fertilization, it includes the ovary stimulation and egg retrieval, sperm retrieval wash, sperm fertilization, embryo transfer, and the progesterone hormones in inclusion. So dear students, this is about this basic steps in the body. Now we'll see about this in vitro fertilization diagrammatically. What is done in the in vitro fertilization, we'll see one by one here. So first step includes, as you know, this is a reproductive system in the female body. So first step includes the egg production stimulated by the hormone therapy. So hormones are inserted in the body of the female to produce the egg. So this is the first step of the in vitro fertilization. Then in the second step, after the production of the egg in the female body, this egg is retrieved from the ovary. It comes out from the body of it is taken out from the female reproductive system, from the body by the process of the ovulation, and it is collected in this dish. So now egg is collected from the body of the female. Now there is a need of a sperm from the male body, so a sperm sample is provided from the gene bank or from any donor. So you can see here this is sperm, and this sperm has been collected from the male partner. So here, dear students, sperms are also there and eggs are also there. So both of these sperms and eggs are collected from the body of both parents, from the female and the male. So this is first step, this is second step, this is third step. Now fourth step, it includes the process of fertilization. So egg and sperm, it is combined to allow the for the process of the fertilization. So this sperm fertilized or fused to with this egg, and this process, you can see, it is not taking place in the body of the female. It is taking place inside this dish outside the body of the female in the laboratory. That's why this process is called IVF, or in vitro fertilization. Then includes the second number step and second number step, fifth number step and fifth number step. After the fertilization, the fertilized eggs, it is introduced back into the female reproductive system by this way. So this process is called the IVF. Now this unfertilized, this fertilized egg, it is inserted in the female body again, and it goes for the further development. It becomes the zygote, then it becomes the morula, then it becomes blastula, and this blastula stage is inserted in the body, and it goes for the further development, and it converts into the gastrula, and this gastrula is further developed in the female body, and likewise there is a development of the female in the female body. But the process includes all these steps: ovary stimulation, egg retrieval, sperm retrieval, process of fertilization, embryo transfer in the body, and then the level of the progesterone is maintained in the body by the female body. So this is about this IVF, and I have shown you the product of the IVF previously. So start with more than one egg. This process started more than one egg, and drug used for the ovary stimulation. There are different drugs that can be used for the ovary stimulation. It includes includes the clomiphene, clomid anti-estrogen, HMG, Pergonal, menopausal gonadotropin, that includes the follicle stimulating hormone and the luteinizing hormone, FSH for the matrodine, GNH agonist, Lepron, FSH, LH, first promoted, then inhibited, HCG, act like a LH, that is luteinizing hormone. In a single cycle, could take clomid, Pergonal, SCG, shot, then progesterone. So these are the different drugs that can be used to stimulate the ovary for the production of the egg or ovum. Then thereafter, the next slide, why transfer more than one embryo? It actually increase the pregnancy rate. It leads to increase the risk of the multiple pregnancy. In future, test embryo before the transfer, and SHLAG measures of the embryo health. All these are the reasons. Thereafter, egg retrieval vaginal with the ultrasounds. This is one of the technique. So dear students, you can see here in this technique, prior to any gift, that is gamete intrafallopian transfer or IVF, in vitro fertilization, or ICSI procedure, the woman receives the hormone to stimulate the development of the ovarian follicle, which are sac-like structure that contain the egg. So you can see here, this is done by this technique in the female body, and administering these hormones allows us to retrieve many ripened egg and thus increase the chance of the pregnancy. So this is the again most important step in the process of all these assisted technique. So in vitro fertilization, one more time, as you know, it includes the stimulation of the egg development, then the release or retrieve of the egg, then the process of the fertilization by this sperm, then the transfer of this fertilized egg into the body of the female reproductive system, and then its implantation, its attachment with the uterus of the female body, and then it accept that embryo and start developing and producing that egg or ovum. This is about the in vitro fertilization. Now modification if tube not blocked, gamete mixed for the gift. So dear students, in this lecture, in this slide, now we'll see about gift. Approximately 3 years before the procedure, a semen sample from the husband is obtained. 3 years before the procedure. Then what happens? The sperm is washed and prepared. The sperm is washed and prepared for loading into the same catheter tube into which the several wipes based eggs will be placed. So you can see here these sperms are transferred into this tube, into this dish, and now these are eggs, and these eggs are best eggs collected from the wife, and the eggs are obtained from the transvaginal needle aspiration and no surgical incision via an ultrasound guide. So these are some process for the gift if blockage is there. So gift includes the low tubal transfer, and it includes all these five steps: stimulation of the egg inside the ovary, then the retrieve egg, the process of the ovulation, then the process of fertilization, and then the transfer of then the transfer of the egg and sperm into this tube directly takes place. So that's why that process is called GIFT, that is the gamete intrafallopian transfer. Why it is called gamete intrafallopian transfer? Because why it is called gamete intrafallopian transfer? Because these gametes, egg and sperms, are transferred directly into this fallopian tube. That's why it is called gamete intrafallopian transfer by this technique. And then in this fallopian tube, the process of fertilization naturally takes place, and it goes for the further development, the development of the zygote, then morula, then blastula, and then the implantation takes place inside the body. So what is done here? The transfer of the egg and sperm directly into the fallopian tube of this female body has been done. So that's why this process is called gift, that is gamete intrafallopian transfer. This is about this technique. Now diagrammatically one more time we'll see by the process of this catheter how this process of gift is done. And you can see here gift stand for gamete intrafallopian transfer. So this catheter is there in this tube, you can see here, and this catheter is inserted in the fallopian tube. As you know, this is fallopian tube, and this is uterus, and this is the normal ovary of the female body. So this catheter is likewise, you can see sperm and the egg injected into this fallopian tube. You can see these are the different sperms, and this is egg. So all these sperms and eggs as a gamete is inserted by this catheter into the fallopian tube, and that's why this process is given a name gift intrafallopian transfer, gamete intrafallopian transfer, because gamete are inserted in the fallopian tube of the female body. Then it is accepted and fertilization process takes place here, and it goes for the further development in this region. So this is about this gift. Now ZIFT, if fertilization needs help, transfer zygote. So instead of gamete, if zygote is transferring in this technique, so this process is simply called ZIFT, means zygote intrafallopian transfer. So instead of gamete, directly zygote is transferred into this fallopian tube and it goes for the further development. So this process is called ZIFT, that is zygote intrafallopian transfer. You can see here one more time zygote intrafallopian transfer. In this process, directly zygote is transferred into this fallopian tube instead of gamete. So this is called ZIFT. Thereafter, the next is ICSI, that is ICSI, that is intracytoplasmic sperm injection in the male body. So you can see here in this structure, the sperm is collected and it is mixed in the cytoplasm and it is then injected into the body. So this is about this intracytoplasmic sperm injection, that is ICSI. So in this diagram you can see here, this is ICSI technique. This is ICSI technique, and in this technique you can see this sperm, it is collected and then it is injected into the egg. You can see thereafter this egg, this sperm, first it is collected, then it is injected into the egg, and then this egg get fertilized. You can see here two dot, that two dot are actually nothing but the two nucleus of this cell, because one has come from the sperm and another one is the local nucleus of this egg. So this egg is now called fertilized egg, demonstrating the two nuclei, one from the father, one from the mother. So this is that technique known as ICSI, that is intracytoplasmic sperm injection. This is about this technique. Now we'll go for the additional twist: surrogacy, gestational egg donor plus gestational, egg donor plus sperm donor plus gestational, frozen embryo technique, egg donors, frozen eggs, and cloning is considered as a technique or as a source of these techniques. So the success rate of the IVF, it includes the cystal initiation in the number of women 100, ovulation for 95, oocytes retrieval 90% success, fertilization 85% success, embryo transfer 70%, pregnancy 24% success, and birth is 18% success in the woman as a advanced technique nowadays. This is about this technique, and now we'll see the risk to women. What are the risks? It includes the overstimulation of the ovary syndrome, multiple pregnancy, a risk of the ovarian cancer, that is chlamydia or the pregonal, and to the baby also there is some risk. The ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection technique, includes the risk of XYY types of progeny can be produced by that technique. Discussion question: what treatments would you select if you are given the following problems? Male with a low sperm technique count, 30 years old female, not ovulating, 40 years old female, not ovulating. What can you do? Which technique you can consider for this problem? Undiagnosed infertility, then what will you do? You can learn all these things from the previous slides explanation. So dear students, this is Patel Science Academy and this is your teacher Shehzad sir, and please subscribe, like, share and comments in my channel and press the bell icon so that you can get the instant notification of my new lectures. So thank you very much for watching this video. Thanks a lot.